Good afternoon, everyone. My name is T. You're watching TokYo-Yo Reviews. Thanks to everybody for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm really enjoying interacting with everybody. Be sure to check out my Instagram if you want to see daily stories, pictures. I even put some questions up there. I hope everybody enjoyed the tutorial I put out the other day. I'll try to do more tutorials based on tricks that either I had difficulty learning or that I feel like tutorials out there that are really good, but maybe they're missing one point that really helped me. I'll be trying to make more tutorials like that. But without further ado, let's get right into the yo-yo. So today we're going to be looking at another magic yo-yo. This one has been much requested on Instagram. It's been commented about on YouTube, so I finally got it, and I think it's finally time to take a look at it. We're going to be looking at the magic yo-yo, Purple Line. Is this yo-yo going to leave you flatlining, or is it going to perplex you with its amazing qualities? I do want to put a full disclosure up top before I start this. I do want to mention that this yo-yo I did not pay for. This was sent to me by a family member. I just want to make it very clear that I did not pay for this yo-yo, but I'm still going to give it my 100% honest review. So there's like a lot of mosquitoes out here today. So the Purple Line is a rounded, I would say O shape here. You can see that it's got a very nice rounded shape. You've got a tiny little cut in here, I think, where they wanted to add more rim weight. And then you've got the little step up there near the gap. But this is a very organic, rounded shape. As for the cup, you've got a basic kind of bowl here. You've got the engravings that say Magic Yo-Yo and IYO. So this is a collaboration between two companies. And then you've got Purple Line at the bottom there. As for the material, it's a very nice blasted 6061. This is probably one of the most smooth yo-yos I've ever had. The finish does make it extremely grindable. The feel of the Purple Line is very comfortable. As with most organics, it just fits your finger just fine. It's a very, very comfortable, easy to hold yo-yo. As for the look of the Purple Line, this is a really nice splash. So you've got the black, it's blasted matte, and you've got the blue paint here. And then you've got this also white or silver. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but you can also see like it almost looks like a burn, or like, I don't know if it's like an acid bath. You've got it over here as well. It's very, very neat looking. It makes it look very unique. Anywhere where you see the silver, sometimes it looks a bit smeared. I think that's really neat looking. I don't have a lot of yo-yos that have that kind of splash, so it's very interesting. So as far as my history with the Purple Line, actually this was requested a lot before when I was starting my reviews. I found it on eBay and I found it on a couple of other sites as well, but unfortunately none of those sites were shipping to Japan, so I was kind of in a pickle. And actually my mom, who watches this channel, hi mom, actually sent me a message saying that she found it and she was shipping it to me, so they were able to ship the yo-yo to my house in the States, and then she had it sent to me here, so that's how I got my hands on the Purple Line, because this thing's hard to find, at least where I'm living. As far as the history of the yo-yo itself, I know it's at least a few years old. A lot of people have reviewed this yo-yo over the years, and it gets talked about a lot now as far as classics of the magic yo-yo kind of early line, along with the N12. And like I said, this was requested by many people, so I think people just want to know more about this because it is a little on the older side, and I haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet. So let's get into playability of the Purple Line. The spin time is fine, stability is fine. Actually, I expected a little more instability because of the shape, but it actually holds its plane fairly well. It does spin loud, louder than some of my other magic yo-yos, but I must be really having a lot of luck here, so knock on wood. I haven't had any bearing problems with this either. A lot of people talk about how, yeah, Magic Yo-Yos, all the N12, the N5, the Purple line, they have great yo-yos, but the bearings are crap. I haven't had any problems with this, and as you've probably heard in my other reviews, I like yo-yos that spin loud, so that's not a problem to me. This yo-yo plays really well on the string. It moves just fast enough. It has a lot of presence, if that makes sense. It doesn't really thud down, but it's easy to maneuver around. I know some people say Magic Yo-Yos play a bit heavy, but I feel like this plays right in the sweet spot, at least for me. I mentioned the matte finish. This thing is beautiful at grinds because of this matte finish. I think the only other yo-yo I've had that has a finish this smooth is probably the Yo-Yo Factory Checkpoint. The only way I can describe this finish is that it's like so smooth, so blasted that it almost feels chalky at times. That's a really bad way to say it. It almost feels like dry. It's very hard to explain. If you've thrown a lot of yo-yos, you'll know what I mean. Maybe satiny is the word, I'm not sure. Please let me know in the comments, but I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the grinds on this thing are magnificent because of that. Now, the only problem that you're going to run into is that because of the shape not being 100% ergonomic, you're going to have really good balance when you do your finger grinds. They can last, the material is just fine, it's just more of the shape of the yo-yo issue where you can get your finger in here and as long as you hold it nice and steady, you're going to be good, but any amount of tilt on your part and you're going to lose the grind, at least in my experience. Thumb grinds are awesome on this thing. It's one of those yo-yos that you're kind of seeing this disappear a little bit, but it's got that big old thumb grind lip, so it's like no problem getting in there. And again, because of that matte blasted finish, which is all over the yo-yo, your thumb grinds can last. I've gotten thumb grinds like to go past a half revolution before. It's pretty awesome. Now, the one thing I should point out, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this. This thing does not really finger spin as well as you might expect, because if you look in here, you can see that it does look like a bowl shape, but it's not 100% concave. So it doesn't have a dimple like a Space Cadet or something like that. And the center of the bowl here where you see the engraving, cup goes in here and then you have another little inner cup inside, but that's a bit raised up, almost like a button, but that also is concave. So I thought that it would be kind of like a stealth or a horizon as far as finger spins go, but I haven't gotten too many good finger spins off of this. Now, if you are on Reddit or if you're on yo-yo expert forums or things like that, people are right. Any yo-yo is a finger spin yo-yo if you put your mind to it. And if you do catch it at an angle and you kind of wait for it to come up like that, it'll be just fine. It'll kind of rotate around a little bit. But if you do catch it at the angle and then kind of wait for it to turn, you can set up a bind, no problem. But it might look like it's easy to do finger spins in the Skyva kind of way or the Space Cadet kind of way, but it's just not that easy. I've also tried with a glove and that didn't really help. So maybe you can do better if you have more skilled at finger spins than me. Overall, this thing plays really well. It's very reliable. I really liked the shape. As I mentioned, I really like organic yo-yos. I really love O shapes. I feel like this is an O shape. Maybe it's got a little bit of an H to it. I love thumb grinds, which are fun, and they're a really flashy trick. People really like to see them because it's kind of comes out of nowhere. I really like finger grinds, as you know, so that's fun. The finger spin thing, like, yeah, not every yo-yo needs to finger spin, so that's fine. And it does it just well enough that you can get away with it as long as you have any skill at it. I think the person who summed it up best actually was Dylan Kowalski. He reviewed this a ways back, and he said basically, if I remember correctly, he said it was a mix between the N12 and the T5, I believe. So the N12 is the Shark Honor and the T5 is the Overlord, and I totally get that. I 100% agree, because it has the rounded shape of the Shark Honor, but the T5, which I'll review at some point, is more narrow. So this kind of splits the difference between those, and I think strikes a really nice balance between the different shapes. So let's get into pros and cons of the purple line. Nice shape, as I mentioned. Very nice organic O shape. I also really like the color. I think the blue splash and this kind of burned silver looks really neat, especially with the matte. It just looks very, very nice. And I don't know what this is. I don't remember that being there when I got it. Great blast, great for finger grinds. And I think this is the newest run because all the old ones were glossy. It plays really stable despite the shape. I think it plays really, really stable for an O, and I've never had any problems with that. The price is great, which is hard for me to say because I didn't buy this yo-yo. This was sent to me by family, but even so, it's only like 15 bucks that I've seen. You can get them for as little as 10 if it's one of the glossy ones. So price is nothing for this. Again, Magic Yo-Yo killing it with the price to performance. And as I mentioned with the Blast comes really, really nice grinds. And the last pro I have is like the name. Like it's called the purple line, but I don't think any of these have any purple on them. Correct me if I'm wrong, like I think one has like a pink splash and there's some light blue ones and then there's this dark one that's blue and black and stuff, but I think it's really audacious to like call something that it's not really. And like Magic Yo-Yo does that with like all their earlier models, like the N8 Dare to Do and the N12 Shark Honor. Like all these yo-yos have kind of unusual names, and just calling something that's not purple is that's a big pro to me. Cons may be a little bit harder to find, especially in the matte. It wasn't on Aliexpress when I searched. It was on eBay. They had like 3 or 4 left when I was searching for it. So I guess it probably depends on your timing, but it might be one of those yo-yos everyone who wants one has already got one. I guess another con you could say is like, some people have said it's a bit of like a lost opportunity that it has this bowl shape, but it doesn't really finger spin that well. I think this came out before that was a big thing. I think the purple line was released before finger spins became a thing that every yo-yo needed to do. And I don't think that necessarily every yo-yo should be like that. I think that there are some yo-yos that can do finger spins really well, and that's fine. But I think it's not great when a whole yo-yo's design is sacrificed for one trick, if that makes sense. Like if you blast a yo-yo just to make it good at grinds, but it suffers in another way, or if you drill a big hole in it for finger spins, but then it suffers in another way. I think that's just not good for the yo-yo itself, and we might see kind of an end to the finger spin trend eventually. But as I said, I think this came out before that was a thing, so yeah, I guess. Anyway guys, that's it for me today. The purple line's really fun if you can get your hands on it. I think it's really cool. It's a great everyday carry, just like the N12, just like the N5, just like the T5, or any of those that are in that really, really budget range. Taking them everywhere, not worrying about if they bonk on stuff, and they're capable of doing everything you need them to do. So it's a win-win. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. Hope you're enjoying all the videos. I'll have more tutorials and more reviews coming soon. I'll also try to do some more streams. I don't know if they'll be daily, but I'll try to do as many little live streams as I can. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'll put a poll up here. If you like the live streams, I enjoy doing them, but if they're boring or they're annoying or something, let me know in the poll. Anyway, have a nice day, take care, and sayonara.